Do you guys know what this means? We've actually gained gained a seat in the Senate during one time we are supposed to lose across the board. Okay? Lose across the board. We're getting responses in chat saying that the election has been called for Raphael Warnock, radical liberal Raphael Warnock. Take a look here.
That killed their high turnout election 2 years from now.
Yeah, Rhonda, let's talk more about where Georgia, see how these results come in tonight. But how do you see Georgia fitting into the national landscape?
Well, I think it has earned a place, at least for the short term in elections to come, as a pivotal place. And I think you're going to see both sides, Republicans, the National Party with Republicans, as well as the National Democrats, pour a lot of money mobilizing.
Yeah, this has been called, baby.
We've just been talking with our colleagues here.
It hasn't been called by Washington Post, but
is on a lot of minds right now, and what the future holds there.
CNN is reporting for Warnock
that are going to be close in other parts of the country in 2024.
Goddamn!
So I think both parties are really going to start calculating where they should be, how they can elevate perhaps their new members
CNN,
of their fold. Think about Warnock. I talked about how we haven't quite
NBC.
seen Senator Warnock yet. We've seen candidate Warnock.
Yeah, just looking at the numbers here with about a 60,000 vote difference.
For the next 6 years, I could see him as
30,000 vote
where
difference.
The DNC puts him out to be a surrogate for
and it's all going to be leaning Warnock from here on out.
So I think right now,
Walker's not going to be able to close that gap.
Us these breathless nail-biter nights for the last couple years. I think that's here to stay, where both parties are going to be looking at Georgia as a centerpiece in their calculus for races to come.
Yeah.
Right,
it's not done yet.
There's
still like 7 or 8%.
Campaign event. Joyce, I can see the picture inside the room. It looks like people are just in a hugely celebratory mood there right now.
Yeah, this is a massive show of excitement. I think, you can see from the crowd behind me just how celebratory they are, how excited they are as some results have come up on the screen from other networks.
By the way, part of what makes this so so much of an upset, do you guys know what this means? We've actually gained gained a seat in the Senate during one time we are supposed to lose across the board. Okay? Lose across the board. Amazing! Amazing! Very knifey duck. Who learned what pronouns are? I think Raphael Warnock just schooled Herschel Walker on what pronouns are. Because his new pronoun is senator.
Pow!
Who was emphasizing
New York wouldn't have fucked up, we would have held or gained in the House too. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, New York fucked up big time for the House races.
A very diverse coalition. You have to run up really big numbers among non-white voters, and you have to do well.
Yeah, Wisconsin could have been an overturn. New York could have been an overturn.
It was said that
AP
Trump
has called it.
Calculated that if
I think we are safe to say that radical liberal Raphael Warnock has just succeeded in flipping the U.S. Senate from 50 to 51. That is incredible. Radical socialist Raphael Warnock. Radical socialist Raphael Warnock. I'm aroused, I must say it. And hey, look, WAPO finally calling it
Senate majority
as well.
51 Democrats to 49
Amazing!
Democratic incumbent and local pastor Raphael Warnock defeated football star Herschel Walker in a heated race. Now, former President Trump backed Walker as a candidate. Republicans threw money at Walker's campaign, despite many public hits to Walker's character. Walker is one of 15 election deniers who ran for the Senate this year. That's according to our Washington Post database. Let's head back now.
And you know what? Now is a good time for us to listen to a sermon from the good Reverend Senator, radical socialist Raphael Warnock.
The problem with folk who live inside of gates in front of our churches, the gates we build in front of our communities. I'm not hating on those of you who live in a gated community. I'm talking about a mindset this morning. What I need you to recognize is that there are some conditions for which there are no gated communities. I'm so sick and tired of all of these folk talking about socialistic medicine. You're giving in to socialism. And I really get upset when I hear Christians in the midst of this debate talking about socialism. They ought to go back and read Acts chapter 2, where the Bible says that the church had all things in common. We don't have all things in common, but certainly we have some things in common, and there are some things that you can't build a gate around. Folk talking as if they know what they're talking about, using words and labels instead of engaging in analysis. You don't solve the problem simply by calling something socialism. There are some things that we have in common. We don't ask people to buy their own police protection, their own fire protection. We decided long ago that we ought to pool our resources and pick up everybody's garbage so that free enterprise can take place. There are some things we have in common.
We should have medicine in common, too.
There are some things you can't protect yourself from by living inside of a gate. When H1N1 breaks out, all of a sudden people forget about socialized medicine and they go and try to get a vaccine wherever they can get it, however they can get it, whenever they can get it. They'll stand in a long line. They'll leave their gated community and make their way to a free clinic in order to get an H1N1 vaccine.
I feel like these subtitles are kind of racist. Holy shit. Goddamn, you know, like, dude's actually out there doing the good work, you know. One of the rare Christian ministers actually kind of living up to the good word.
House. We're going to have divided government in 2023.
I wonder if we're going to get the Warnock speech.
There's going to be a lot of House Republican investigations.
The captions were Dutch, and then I tried to switch them to English, and they were still bad.
Into the administration. But Democrats, a remarkable story that is coming out of what we've been talking about tonight, the Sun Belt.
We did it, chat.
And Arizona. The two states,
and I'm so goddamn proud of you. I know a lot of you worked to make this happen.
Bill Clinton, Joe Biden won them in 2020 by about 10,000 votes in each state. And this year, the Democratic senators who won in 2020, Mark Kelly in Arizona, Raphael Warnock in Georgia, have won full 6-year terms in the Senate.
He has touted his record on boosting manufacturing jobs. He's really talked a lot about capping insulin and prescription drug prices. He
Hell yeah.
talked about the right to an abortion and
hell yeah.
championing that, especially in light of his opponent Herschel Walker and his own controversies surrounding abortion and his accusations against him. Talking a lot about the right for women's health care. And he has really clearly resonated with supporters who have voted him into office. We heard earlier from an advocate of black voters who said that she did not feel like Herschel Walker was the candidate to represent black voters here in the state of Georgia, and of course with a massive portion of the Georgia electorate being African American voters. We are certainly seeing tonight just how this race went and who they want into office for the next 6 years.
Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And to God be the glory. after a hard-fought campaign, or should I say campaigns, it is my honor to utter the four most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken.
Get fucked!
I often say that a vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves and for our children. Voting is faith put into action. And Georgia, you have been praying with your lips and your legs.
That sounds really sexual. That sounds really sexual.
With your hands and your feet, your heads and your hearts. You have put in the hard work, and here we are standing together. I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to my mother, who is here tonight.
Bring out the mom!
You'll see her in a little while.
Radical
But
mom.
she grew up in the 1950s in Waycross, Georgia, picking somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco.
Goddamn.
My dad has long passed into the light, but he is still very much with us. I watched my dad, a pastor and a small businessman, take care of his family by working really hard with his hands and using his brain. And he picked up old junk cars and loaded them on the back of a rig that the mechanisms of which he designed himself, one on top of the other. And that's how he took care of his family. But on Sunday morning, the man who lifted broken cars lifted broken people.
God damn!
And convinced them of their value. I would not be here were it not for them. I am a proud son of Savannah, Georgia. A coastal city known for its verdant town squares and its cobblestone streets. Tall, majestic oak trees, dripping with Spanish moss, bend and beckon the love of history and horticulture to this city by the sea. My roots, like the roots of those oak trees, go deep down into the soil of Savannah and Waycross and Scriven County and Burke County. I am Georgia. I am an example and an iteration of its history, of its pain and its promise, of the brutality and the possibility. But because this is America, because we always have a path to make our country greater against unspeakable odds, here we stand together. Thank you, Georgia. I want to thank my mother and my late father. I want to thank my siblings who are here. I'm one of 12 in my family. Clearly, my folks read the Bible, be fruitful and multiply. Our family was short on money, but long on love, long on faith. And I want to thank my two darling children. Chloe and Caleb, whose brilliance and whose eyes inspired me to work for all of our children. Georgia, I don't want you to miss what you've done. In a moment in which there were folk trying to divide our country, and those forces are very much at work right now, Georgia did an amazing thing. In 2021, it sent its first African-American senator and its first Jewish senator to the United States Senate in one fell swoop.
Let's go, baby!
And you have done it again. Thank you, Georgia.
Hell yeah, Georgia!
Now, there are those who will look at the outcome of this race and say that, yes, you're right, we won. But there are those who would look at the outcome of this race and say that there's no voter suppression in Georgia. Let me be clear.
Let me be clear.
Just because people endured long lines that wrapped around buildings, some blocks long, just because they endured the rain and the cold and all kinds of tricks in order to vote, doesn't mean that voter suppression does not exist. It simply means that you, the people, have decided that your voices will not be silenced.
Get him! Get him, son!
Let us not forget. Let us not forget that when we entered this runoff,
on behalf of the entire country, thank you.
A vestige of the ugly side of our complicated American story. State officials said that we couldn't vote on Saturday.
Boo!
But we sued them and we won.
Fuck yeah!
And the people once again rose up in a multiracial, multi-religious coalition of conscience. You endured the rain, you endured the long lines, and you voted, and you did it because you believe, as I do, that democracy is the political enactment of a spiritual idea. This notion that each of us has within us a spark of the divine, that we were created in the imago Dei, in the image of God. And if you're not given to that kind of religious language, that's fine. Our tent is big.
Hell yeah.
simply put it this way, each of us has value. And if we have value, we ought to have a voice. And the way to have a voice is to have a vote to determine the direction of your country and your destiny within it. And so we stand here tonight on broad shoulders. Our ballot is a bloodstained ballot. We stand here on the shoulders of the martyrs, Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, 2 Jews and an African American who lost their lives fighting for that great American right to vote. Viola Luiso and James Reed, a white sister and a white brother who also lost their lives. Fannie Lou Hamer, that indomitable Mississippi sharecropper. And my parishioner, God bless his memory, John Lewis. Who one day crossed a bridge, knowing that there was danger on the other side, and yet he crossed that bridge while building a bridge for the future. And now it is on us, the latest generation of Americans and of Georgians, to keep building that bridge.
John Lewis on the bridge.
To keep walking that long walk, pushing the nation towards our ideals. And so, Georgia, this is my promise to you. The work that we must do is difficult. The issues are not simple, they're complex. But here's my promise to you, I will walk with you even as I work for you. Because here is what I've learned as a pastor. You can't lead the people unless you love the people. You can't love the people unless you know the people, and you can't know the people unless you walk among the people. You cannot serve me if you cannot see me. And so during these difficult days, even as I work on specific public policy proposals and I offer bills and work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to get those bills passed, I just want you to know that I see you. I see you parents as you're trying to put your kids through college and through community college and technical college. I see you students as you're trying to make a way out of no way. I see you essential workers fighting for a livable wage to participate in the prosperity that you create for others. Farmers who are an answer to our most basic prayer, give us this day our daily bread, and yet they struggle to hold on to the farm. Farmers, I see you, and I'm here with you. And together we can work through all of these issues. And I want all of Georgia to know whether you voted for me or not. I get it. But I want all of Georgia to know, whether you voted for me or not, that every single day I am going to keep working for you. I'm proud of the bipartisan work I've done, and I intend to do more because I actually believe that at the end of the day, we are all Americans. I believe in that American covenant. E pluribus unum. And it is that covenant that drives me to work to lower costs, to lower the cost of prescription drugs, to create jobs all across our state, to address the issue of criminal justice reform, because I believe that you can have justice and safety at the same time. So thank you for this high honor. After a hard-fought campaign, you got me for 6 more years.
Hell yeah, baby!
So let me quickly do a couple of things. I want to thank my amazing campaign staff. Led by Quentin Folks. I want to thank my amazing Senate team led by Mark Libel and my state team led by Meredith Lilly. I want to thank Lawrence Bell, who had a crazy idea
Guys,
that I
this
should
is
run
a
for the
huge
Senate.
deal. This is a huge win.
I laughed, and here we are. And I want to thank the amazing people of Ebenezer Baptist Church.
This just means that Manchin and Sinema no longer have the ability to completely hold up budgetary bills, which is amazing.
Stuck with your pastor. Thank you, Ebenezer Church.
Nindreen!
So
thank you for subscribing for 29
let's celebrate
goddamn
for a little
months.
while on this mountain.
Manchin will no longer
Let's
have a
dance
death grip
because
on
we
the
deserve
Senate.
it. But tomorrow we go back down into the valley to do the work.
And now we can all forget about Christian Walker and Herschel Walker.
The times are dark, but the light, the scripture says, shines in the darkness, and the darkness overcometh it not. I'm ready to keep doing this work. I can hear my dad of blessed memory say, get up, get dressed, put your shoes on, get ready. Are you ready, Georgia? I'm ready. Stand up for workers, to stand up for women, to stand up for our children. I'm ready to build a stronger Georgia. God bless you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
God damn, this man can really give a speech. It's almost like he's been giving a speech every week for the last 20 goddamn years.
Raphael Warnock's victory speech as he has defeated Herschel Walker to win a 6-year Senate term.